Anyways,
All
not
right.
on national television.
Oh yeah, we're getting millions of viewers now.
We
I
have
to-
millions of viewers coming through cyberspace.
Yeah, we have to watch what we say.
Cyberspace.
So ESPN.
Yeah, that's typically what you'd go to for our fantasy.
Yeah. Let me just say, half lesbian thespians is not looking too good.
Not really her fault, to be fair.
Well,
I would say, because Saquon Barkley, I'm so sorry to him. He took a terrible injury. Let's see what else happened to her roster. She also didn't update her roster. Her roster was really great first week, and she didn't update it the second week. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Maybe she just forgot. She's probably the most likely to forget, if I'm being honest.
yeah, but like...
Well, yeah, let's see who she had. Dak did great. Tyler Higbee did great. She chose Bill's defense. Mistake. It ended up losing her points. Matt Prater did not come through as a kicker. Clyde did not hold up to week one's hype. Julio Jones, I think he got injured as well. He ends up with 4.4 points for the week. Devontae Adams also didn't live up to the week one's hype. He ended up with 6.6. Aaron Jones instead took the dub for Green Bay, passing and rushing, really.
Yeah.
Kenyon Drake did all right. Saquon Barkley got injured. Yeah.
But like my team dominated.
Your
like,
team popped off.
Yeah, because like everyone had at least over 10 points except for fucking Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
What the hell is with his...
Since when was DK Metcalf the number one wide receiver for Seattle?
Yeah.
I took number one wide receiver from Seattle. But all of a sudden, it's DK.
I stole it. Well, I mean, I realized after the Eagles-Seahawks playoff game, after got that long touchdown, I knew it was good. But
I thought Lockett would be a lock, really. I mean, they actually ended up having the same points this week. But the week before, I'm pretty sure DK had more.
Matt Ryan had 28 points for me. Miles
Pretty
Sanders had 20. Josh Jacobs had 13.
Your lowest scoring was 9.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
And that was Ertz. And then after that, it was Josh Jacobs with 13.5.
And then that's like underperforming as well.
Oh, not counting defense and kicker. Defense did good for you.
Defense
Got
did
you
really
one more
good.
point than, they would start out with 11.
Over 10 points for defense is a win in my books. I
Yeah.
feel.
Colts got 17. I benched
Yeah.
them, though, after their terrible performance with the Jaguars. And I was like, it's Vikings offense. It's probably going, go down even worse, maybe. But then they popped off hard, and I'm proud of them, even if I benched them. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even my bench, too, did really good. Like, Russell Wilson got me 34 points. Connor got me 20 points. And Burrow got me 25.
Yeah, Russell Wilson getting 34 against one of the most highly talked about secondaries in all of football is a big deal.
Yeah.
That's why he's in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, and then transactions I picked up. Or I guess you want to go over the other two matchups first, and then we can go.
We'll talk about. We had a lot of transactions.
Yeah.
Waiver wire. So Brendan Peachy was the MVP of the week. 197.36 points for the week, which is wild. His lowest scoring was Mark Andrews with 3.9, and then after that, not including defense or kicker, the lowest scoring was 17 for Odell Beckham Jr. So, wait, no, actually Drew Brees had 14. Wow, so his worst was really his quarterback, because tight ends are hit or miss. Odell Beckham Jr. did better than usual. Looks like him and Mayfield are finally getting their stride. Mike Evans and Tyreek Hill, of course, did really good as we expect them to. Aaron Jones, monstrous performance, 46 points.
3 fucking touchdowns, 168 yards. I don't know what his receiving stats are, but that's nuts.
I can pull him up right now. Complete stats. Boom, 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 bop, boom, boom, bop, bop, boom, boom, bop.
And Alvin Kamara also popped off as well, having
almost game log.
Almost 40 points too.
Right, so against Detroit, Detroit was not looking good. They were up 14-0 and then blew it. Not the worst, though. Falcons were up 20 points at one point.
I don't want to talk about that quite yet because I'm still bummed about that. Yeah.
So, he had 8 targets on receiving, caught 4 for 68 yards and a touchdown. And then rushing, he only had 18 attempts. That's like a pretty fair. And ended up with 2 touchdowns, with a long being 75 yards.
I feel like I'm playing Compton Crip Trip next week. I'm not going to get into it because that's like another little segment, but I feel like Aaron Jones is not going to have that big of a performance, especially since one of it came off of a rare 175-yard touchdown.
Who will Green Bay be playing? That's the question that I should answer. New Orleans. New Orleans defense is pretty good. They didn't exactly stop the Raiders, but I would say they were able to keep Josh Jacobs at least to low yardage.
Yeah.
So, I guess in that sense, pretty good. I guess their secondary is more the concern.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Jones might have more of a struggle against New Orleans.
Josh Jacobs having 35 points the first week and then only 13. So I think the Raiders defense, or at least for rush, or Saints defense for rushing is good.
Anyways, 197 is the number to beat.
Yeah.
If anyone can crack 200 in this season, that would be huge.
And then Trey laid laid another goose egg for this week as well.
He barely beat me, but that's not saying much.
Yeah. So he had Lamar Jackson, 17 points. Derrick Henry,
17. I was
8
surprised
points.
by that.
I mean, he didn't do too bad. It's just that his defense didn't do too well. Looking at it, his week was actually pretty good except for Henry and the defense because Gordon got 16, Hopkins got 20, Judy got 10, Kelsey got 24, Juju got 11. I mean, it's not like a terrible week, but looking at the numbers, a lot
of people reached their projected numbers for them, but no one super exceeded to make up for the people that just dropped, like Henry and Jackson. Who else didn't do as well? Saints defense, I guess.
Henry's not doing too good the past couple games at all.
Like I said, I called it. I said, yo, if you're going to take Henry first, that's not the way to go.
Yeah, he's underperforming a lot. He was projected 21 points, but only got 8. And Lamar Jackson's also not performing well, too. You also covered that one with Mahomes. Both Henry and Jackson are underperforming, whereas... What was I saying? I got distracted with
I think Baltimore started rushing more against Houston. I know Mark Ingram was putting up... I think he even got a touchdown. So, maybe they just went for a different strategy rather than Lamar Jackson just, not doing as well.
Yeah.
Because from what I've seen and heard... People are not giving up hope on Lamar Jackson for being back-to-back MVP. So we'll see. Mahomes nearly was looking terrible, to the point where people were gonna scratch him off of the MVP race, just because he was only held to 60 yards for the first half or something like that. Yeah. I don't know if it was him or Kansas City as a whole, but they were not scoring. Chargers had their number, and then they came back, won in overtime, and because of those game-winning drives, he ended up with 28 points, which is better than people thought he would end up with. Yeah,
that was actually surprising too. And then McCaffrey got 24 for you as well.
Injured.
Yeah.
So now he's out for at least 3 weeks. He was placed on injury reserve. So.
And then that kind of sucks. That's your main guy. But at least it's not season ending
Jonathan
Barkley.
Taylor, though, the rookie, popped off.
19. That's really good for him.
T.Y. Hilton dropped in the end zone. It was a long ball for him, and it was dropped in the end zone. Frank Reich said that it was because of the sun glare in his eyes. That was the reason. He's dropped a lot of other balls.
Yeah, not just that one. He's kind of dipping a little.
AJ Green got injured at the end of the game when they needed him most, and he only ended up with 5.9.
I feel like he's always getting injured in one way or another.
Yeah. Ebron ended up doing just as projected. Nothing really big there. Gurley I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened to Gurley, man. It was just sad. He was projected 14, only put up 6, and it's not like he wasn't being used. He was in a lot of snaps. They just weren't passing to him, and his rushing attempts were very mediocre. Dallas did well in that aspect.
I just feel like Todd Gurley is not the same since his knees, just in general. His knees made him fall off a cliff, which is the same because he was going to be a dominant running back for a while, but then he just fell off a cliff.
Right.
But the Steelers defense did really good for you. 13.
Yeah, I mean that's about what you expect from Steelers defense though against a subpar team like Denver.
Yeah.
And then I mean Coles is what I really should put in. I also should have put in Blankenship, who put up 15 in kicking. That's probably like one of the higher of the whole week. I'm not sure, maybe.
Yeah. And I feel like the projections as well isn't as accurate because it's so hard to.
Well, he's a new player as well. This is his rookie season.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if he had that most amount.
Okay.
No, he was third. Justin Tucker had more, and Young Ho Koo, I used to have him on my team actually, put up 17 for Atlanta.
Damn, maybe I should pick him up.
He's a free agent.
Ooh. You want to claim him?
No, I'm cool with Blankenship and Gould.
Yeah. Okay, so like I didn't really think that projected points were accurate at all, but now that I'm looking at it, like they projected Eric Ebron as 7.2 points and he got 7.3, and Goal 7.8 and he got 8, so like those were two really accurate predictions.
Yeah, but those are like people that usually don't have blow up games. Whereas like people who have blow up games, usually the projections don't account for that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like they don't want to mislead you into thinking they're going to blow up, obviously.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense.
And like they're also playing teams that, you know, wouldn't put up much of a fight. Whereas like the projections for Lockett and Carson were lower than usual for them. These are Seattle players, and because they were playing a New England defense. And so I was like, oh, I'm not going to start them. I'm going to bench them. They both ended up with 19 points each, and that could have saved me, honestly. I could have been in, like, the 140 range for the week, maybe even 150, had I, like, looked, kind of ignored, like, the defense aspect, like, of their opponent, and just been like, you know, raw skill, they can do it. They can get it done. But, you know, that's the L I face. But I live and I learn. I believe in myself, especially for next week, playing Trey. I believe I can get it done.
All you got to do is just hope.
Yeah. George Kittle also was out for that week, so that could have saved me on the tight end side, but who knows? He might be back this week. I'm not sure. And then Sophia, Josh Allen popped off yet again. Ezekiel Elliott did what people thought he would do.
Dalvin Cook 17 points, more to 20. I didn't expect him to be that good. I thought he was just like a mediocre.
Carolina receivers have been really doing well. Adam Thielen was held to only 6 because Indianapolis secondary pulled through somehow. I don't know how Dalvin Cook got 17. It didn't seem like he did that great, but I guess it was because like that one of those last drives they kept using him.
Yeah, and then Darren Waller went off. He got 28 points.
That was wild.
49ers got 6, and Butker got 13. Which is good.
Eckler has been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
For a Chargers running game.
And then Sophia's bench did okay too. Fournette got 27, and Ingram got 12.
Fournette after a very poor week and popping off for Tampa Bay.
So you want to move on to predictions for next week for each person?
Yeah, sure. We have a bet, actually. Because I've put up 139 the first week and then 118 the second week. Because of transactions, which we should also talk about.
Yeah.
I believe that my new lineup coming into this next week will end up accumulating 150 or more points.
Dang.
Caleb says no.
Yeah.
And that's our bet.
I say he's going to get under 150 points for this matchup. You want to go over the transactions first, actually, before the actual?
Yeah, sure. Transactions. Woo.
How do you get to the transactions?
Recent activity. For the waivers, funny thing happened where it was like everyone was looking at Noah Fant, and because Trey, who's a big Denver fan, and also had the priority over waivers for this week, I thought he was just going to take him. So I ended up going with tight end Hayden Hurst for Atlanta because he's done all right. And I just needed a backup tight end just in case Kittle's out longer, or also just for his bye week because Ebron hasn't been doing as well as I thought he would. I took a little risk with that. And Trey forgot to pick up Noah Fant. And so this morning at like 6:30, I looked and I was like, what? And so I quickly got him before anyone else would realize. So that's what happened there. Otherwise, Caleb probably would have taken Noah Fant.
Yeah.
Had he held on to his waiver on him. But
Well, I mean,
instead you got, what's his name? Jonnu Smith for Tennessee.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, last night, Titus he was like, yeah, I have waivers on 3 people, and I was like, I wanna get a look at that, and he was like, no, I'm not showing you. He showed me one, and I was like, oh, okay, and then...
I ended up not doing that one as well.
And
I'm waiting on that one.
And then I was like, oh, okay, and then I was looking at my team and seeing if I need to add or, like, replace anyone, and my tight ends are lacking a little bit. So I was like, I need to pick up a tight end. So I was looking at Noah Fant's like stats the last 2 games, and he went off both games, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just pick up this guy. And I look over, and Titus is just like smiling at me. It was like, did you know that I picked that? I was like, no, I didn't see it at all, and I just wanted to pick him up because like his stats were really good.
I ended up getting him.
Yeah. So
I was also looking at Mike Gesicki for Miami. Especially because this upcoming matchup against Jacksonville would be very favorable.
Yeah, I was also looking at that guy too. But then I picked up Smith because it looks like he utilized or...
He's targeted more.
Yeah. And then so I dropped Jack Doyle because like he just wasn't performing.
He's like injured, so like...
He's injured, and then the week that he wasn't, he only got like 3 points. So like I need a better backup than Jack Doyle, sorry.
The backup Colts tight ends I've also been pulling through. Mo Alley Cox was one of the had most yards receiving for any tight end.
Yeah.
The past week.
I was looking at that guy too, and then.
So what I did also in transactions, I had to get rid of Wentz.
Yeah, that's probably a smart idea. Wentz.
It just had to happen.
Bad decision making.
Wentz is now a free agent. And I saw how well Cam Newton was. No one was taking him. I was like, I hate Cam Newton. I didn't want to take him. But then I thought of it. I was like, wait. Since I have priority, I could probably take Cam Newton and then go for a trade and get a better quarterback than, Wentz. And also, actually like them. So I picked up Cam Newton. And I messaged Alicia. I was also thinking of messaging Trey for Aaron Rodgers. But I wanted to message Alicia first for Kyler Murray. And she looked and was like, yep, sounds good. I was like, dope. And then we traded.
Yeah.
Now I have Kyler Murray. I'll have him starting week 3 because Mahomes will be playing a Ravens defense, whereas Murray's playing, I think, Detroit. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Kyler Murray is more long-lasting this year. We don't know how Cam Newton is going to hold up the rest of the year. If he can actually pull like 25 to 30 point games each year. I mean, the only reason why he's getting so many points is because he rushes a shit ton. He's like 60% of the time he rushes, exactly. Which is insane.
I mean, hey, points are points, regardless of how you get them. So.
Yeah. And then after watching the Patriots game, I was like, Julian Edelman is getting a lot of targets.
He's like one of the only good receivers for them right now.
Yeah, so I decided to pick him up because Michael Thomas is injured for a few weeks. So I put him on IR and picked up Edelman to replace him. I don't know how I'm going to utilize him because the receivers that I do have right now are performing really well. Mm-hmm. It's just that Thomas is a waste of a spot right now because he's injured. So I just decided to pick him up. Yeah. And then you also picked up Kareem Hunt too.
Yeah, I dropped Herndon, who I picked up briefly just to see how he would do last week. And he ended up with like 1 point. So I was like, yep, dropping him. Need someone to fill in the shoes of Christian McCaffrey. Well, like Chris Carson and Jonathan Taylor look like they will do as far as RBs go. But also I need a good flex, like a third running back, just in case my wide receivers are facing bad matchups one week. Like this week, actually. And so I picked up Kareem Hunt, who has been putting up great points and was overlooked because they're more of like a unit of running backs with Chubb as well. But Hunt has been, getting a fair share, getting some touchdowns. So I was like, might as well. So he'll be starting for me. And also, Brendan dropped Le'Veon Bell, who I think is on IR, for James Robinson, the replacement in Jacksonville for Leonard Fournette, who has been proving himself worthy.
Yeah. And then, did we go over, like, Cooper Kupp?
Oh, that was from last week, yeah.
That was from last week.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp was picked up for Sophia. Because who was on their team that was injured? I forget. I think it was Galladay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit Galladay.
Wait, did we forget to go over transactions? Because I don't remember going over a lot of these. Or last week at least.
Yeah, we kind of did. We were talking about AJ Green last time.
Yeah, okay. So let's go over the upcoming matchups.
Yes. So upcoming is me versus Trey, both 0-2. Needing a big win, and this is our chance to prove ourselves.
Both 0-2.
He's at 51% probability, but I would put myself at 55% probability if I had to look deeply. Because Colts defense and Blankenship projections are very underrated just from the first week's performance. But they're playing the Jets. And if they can get it done against the Vikings, then I absolutely believe that they can get it done against the Jets. Because Jets look so unprepared against the 49ers defense, which was lacking due to injuries. I just feel like if Colts don't go 15 or more points against the Jets, it's just sad. And I might even have to just, like, stop taking the risk with them. But, like, I don't even think it's a risk anymore. I think they prove themselves with the Vikings. That was a big motivation, and they're going to carry that momentum forward. Blankenship had a rough first game, but he was 4 for 4 in field goals. Second game, I believe he can still, be as consistent. I mean, he beat out Vinatieri for the job. And whoever replaced Vinatieri last season as well. I think it was McLaughlin, isn't it, his name? So I believe in that rookie. And then if Kittle's healthy, that's a big thing as well. If Kittle's healthy, that would be a big deal because that's a no-brainer start for any team, I feel like. And then Keenan Allen, it depends on his quarterback.
Yeah.
Because if Tyrod Taylor's back in, I might have to take Keenan Allen out because Taylor wasn't throwing a lot to Allen for some reason, whereas Justin Herbert in his first game, he was, and Allen ended up going over his projection. So. Wait,
did you hear about Taylor? What happened to Taylor?
Yeah, punctured lung.
Yeah,
the team doctor.
Yeah. That was
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
But this is actually a really good matchup, I feel, because it's evenly matched.
Pretty close.
And the people that are should dominate, like Hopkins should be better than Lockett, but then it's just you have other players that are going to be more dominant.
I think his receivers are going to be scary.
Yeah.
I mean, Diggs has been popping off mainly because Josh Allen also has, but they're facing their hardest defense yet, which is the Rams, and so I feel kind of confident there. DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to pop off, but I have Kyler Murray, so if he does, then I'll also be,
getting some
those
points.
I think that, that'll be good for me to have that matchup. Melvin Gordon against Buccaneers. I think Buccaneers defense has been proving themselves a bit more, so
I feel like that'll be hard.
Denver I'm not really concerned about, so.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry has not been performing well. Lamar Jackson against Chiefs might end up popping off. I wouldn't be surprised, actually.
That might be a shootout.
Yeah, it'll be. I think Jackson and Mahomes, either they're going to be super low scoring or super high scoring. I don't know.
There's no in the middle.
I don't think it's in between with those two teams.
I feel, yeah.
They might have to depend on their running backs for their respective defenses, but we'll see. Kelsey's going to probably do good for Chiefs. You see, I could have also put in Mahomes and, subsidized for Kelsey as well. But
too bad you can't put quarterbacks
Kelsey
at flex.
against the Ravens defense, I think, is a bigger challenge than Hopkins against Detroit.
Ravens defense is looking scary.
Schuster's been looking really good. If Texans defense can step it up, I would really appreciate that, even though I hate Texans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kareem Hunt, I would take a running back over a receiver because they get more carries.
For sure.
So
usually that's how it works for flex, unless you have really good depth.
Yeah.
But Saints defense against Green Bay.
Green Bay's been
poor decision.
Yeah, Green Bay's putting up a lot of points. What is it?
They're back to back 40 plus points, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Whew.
They're scary. All right, you want to go to half lesbian thespians and Esposito fries?
Yeah, so half lesbian thespians is 1-1. Esposito fries is 2-0.
This is another good matchup, I feel.
It has the bigger blowout probability, though. It's at 53% for Sophia because Josh Allen's been on a roll. Ezekiel Elliott's been holding up. Dalvin Cook as well. Chris Godwin for sure. Well, actually, if healthy, I don't know. He wasn't healthy last week, was he?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Adam Thielen, maybe. It's Titans defense, so probably he'll do well. Darren Waller popped off, but it's against Patriots, so who knows what will happen there. I almost feel like they're going to depend on Josh Jacobs a bit too much for that matchup. I feel like Darren Waller will not do as well.
I mean, I was scared to face up against half lesbian thespians last week just because of how good she performed week 1. And then I got some luck, I'll admit, with like Adams and Julio Jones and Barkley getting injured. But like as of now, her team doesn't look as scary anymore as it originally did, because I mean mostly that's because of injuries. I mean Barkley's out for the entire year. She has AJ Brown on the bench, but he's questionable. Julio Jones and Adams are both questionable, and Julio Jones in general, he's not getting as many targets for some reason, even when he is healthy. It's mostly Ridley getting it. It's like in the last 31 games, Ridley has had 21 touchdowns, and in the last 60 games, Jones had 21 touchdowns. So it's like Ridley's getting a lot more targets and touchdowns and performing a lot more than Jones in general. Dak Prescott popped off last week. I think he's going to pop off again this week. She has Drake and Chubb. Chubb performed really well last week, but Drake didn't perform that well. Adams is up in the air. I'm just glad that he didn't do as well against me.
Her team is riddled with injuries as well. That's the problem.
Yeah.
3 are questionable, one's on IR, who I should probably tell her to actually literally put Saquon Barkley in the IR, but
she should just get rid of Barkley because it's season ending. It's not like he's coming back at all.
Yeah, but the thing is, for next year, you can choose to keep a player to carry over into next year.
Oh,
like
really?
a franchise player, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, that's up to her.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Barkley is definitely a franchise. And then, or a franchise keeper. And then she has Higbee, Edwards, Bills defense, and Prater playing. That's a good matchup. I didn't think Higbee would be that good for her, to be honest, but Higbee just dominated against the Eagles. So I guess he's going to light up more.
I would definitely put Sophia over Licia, but I don't know, man. Devontae Adams could definitely end up doing really well. And Julio Jones, I mean, he's just an amazing receiver. Even if he hasn't performing in the past 2 weeks, I would still start him no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you just never know with him. Like, even when he doesn't do as well, like, he does good enough to be, like, starter eligible. I mean, last week he got injured, so, like, that's a different story. So, yeah, I feel like don't count her out necessarily.
Yeah, I'm picking Sophia as well for this one, but I just think that Licia's team is too up in the air to actually definitely. Oh wait, it stopped.
All right.
The camera turned off, so I'm just going to restate what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying before is that I think Sophia is going to win because half lesbian thespians' team is too up in the air because of injuries, like we said before, and just because, I don't know, I just feel like her starters are up in the air the past couple of weeks. So I'm choosing Sophia because she has a more consistent team, and Elliott, Cook, and other players that she has.
Yeah. Then we have 2 scary teams playing against each other. It's your disgruntled and Common Crib Drip. I feel like it could just go either way.
Yeah, I performed exceptionally well. I wasn't last week with 159 points. I was not expecting that many points. I was expecting Licia just to come in here and just like absolutely destroy me. But now I'm feeling a little bit more confident with my actual setup. I got Russell Wilson, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Zach Ertz, DK Metcalf, Buccaneers defense, and Crosby. I'm feeling like really, really strong about that.
Yeah, we were trying to go over potential trades between me and him, but like we could never get anything done because he's just so in love with his team right now.
There was like,
and if Michael Thomas ever gets back, you're gonna be huge, man.
Yeah, like the only concern is like tight end. I was considering about tight end recently.
I wouldn't be. just yet.
Yeah, like it's only week 2, so that's why I was hesitant about trading. I'm considering trading about Zach Ertz, but I want to wait at least 1 to 2 weeks, 2 more weeks just to see how he performs because I still have faith in him. Because like he should be getting a lot more targets, and Carson Wentz just needs to pull like his head out of his ass and actually like start making good decisions because his decision making is just terrible. Zach Ertz should have had like a couple more receptions last week if it wasn't overthrown at all. Or if the balls were placed correctly, he would have had a couple more receptions. Miles Sanders just blew up 20 points. Jacobs had an off week last week, but I feel like he can pull through because some of the matchups, like Raiders are playing the Patriots. Patriots defense is lacking. Like Russell Wilson, he's playing the Cowboys. Like Cowboys defense didn't perform well at all. So like I just have faith in that matchup a lot. And then you have on Compton Crip Drip.
I think Drew Brees is probably his weakest link.
Yeah.
Like that is a really solid lineup from beginning to end. And then you just have Drew Brees who, I don't know, maybe he's fading. I don't know what's going on with Brees recently.
I just never had faith. I expressed this the past 2 weeks. Like Drew Brees as a fantasy perspective, he just doesn't do well anymore the past few years. Even when he was having good blow up years, I don't know. He wasn't getting consistently good points. But I feel like Wilson will definitely have that edge over him. Kamara, that's going to be up in the he's consistent 20-point games, and so is Jones. Jones is definitely not going to have a 46-point game like he did last game, but he still is dangerous. So with Hill, Evans, Andrews is probably another weak link. He hasn't been performing as well.
That's not true. He's been doing fine, I thought.
Well, he got 3.9 last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. His first week was great.
Yeah.
Second week, no. Oh, I guess you're right. What happened there?
I have no idea. I don't know how well he's going to.
What's his other tight end? It's Cook.
Cook.
How'd Cook do? He's been just like average.
Yeah, his tight ends are another weak link, I feel.
So Andrews is more volatile.
Yeah.
OBJ, you never know. If they get it together, then good, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen to him? I feel like he's still dangerous. Ravens defense against Chiefs. It's kind of a mix-up. Like, we really don't know at this point. We really have been waiting for this matchup for a while, so
yeah,
it's going to be fun to watch Monday night.
I feel like the Chiefs will score a lot of points, so I have confidence that the Bucs are going to have more points than the Ravens defense. And he has Tyreek Hill, so he has a player going against his defense, which is not the best scenario that you want, because if Hill goes off, then his defense is going to do bad. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world because defense is usually...
Not really.
Yeah.
Hill could still be high scoring just through receptions, but Ravens will only seriously lose points if points are allowed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could get best of both worlds, but, like, that is just a very particular scenario that you're hoping for.
Yeah. I mean, and then he has Justin Tucker, which probably will have more points than Crosby at this point. But, yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that, I think.
Yeah. So, do you want to project?
NFL predictions.
All right.
So, week 2, by the way, after losing week 1 to Caleb in predictions, I ended up going 13-3 in predictions, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, and then I went...
Caleb tanked. He went 9-7.
Yeah, I did really bad.
Now the standings are 23-9, which is like 71%. Caleb is 21-11, which is 65%. So we're still close overall.
Only 2 games behind. So Thursday night game.
Who you got, Miami or Jacksonville?
Oh, that's a tough game.
The battle of pretty bad teams.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jags on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
I feel more confident.
I think it's Miami.
Really? I don't know. I just feel more confident in Jaguars actually doing well than Miami doing well.
Especially if Devontae Parker is back, because Fitzpatrick game 1 definitely didn't look good, but second game I was like, wow, he's actually kind of popping off. Especially like he ended up using their tight end Gesicki as a major target, and for some reason they just couldn't be stopped. They were scoring pretty well against the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Bills' offense has been rolling, so they ended up getting the win, but it was close. And, like, obviously, Jacksonville did bring it very close against the Titans, but I'm not so convinced on the Titans as much as I am Bills. Like, Titans' defense, whatever.
But I don't know. Like, after Jaguars beat the Colts.
They did.
And then also put up a good matchup against the Titans. I just feel more confident.
But I think with both games, it wasn't Jacksonville who won. It was just
Colts doing really bad.
Colts who lost.
Yeah.
Really. I put Jacksonville as 0-2. That's not true. Colts, I feel like just Colts lost at game 1. And Jacksonville, like, obviously Gardner Minshew went 19 for 20, but they were very, like, easy throws because our secondary was just not getting it together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he was actually just having a good performance. I think he was just, like, looking good just in comparison to how secondary was doing. And then I didn't get to see any clips of the Titans, so I'm not really sure about how that went down. But I still have more faith in Miami pulling through than Jacksonville. Like, no way Jacksonville is as good as they've been performing. I think they just... Especially because those are divisional matchups. Obviously, you're going to do better against your divisional rival because you have more experience against them. The coaches, organization, everything. This is not a divisional rival.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is a big test for Jacksonville for sure.
It would be really scary for them to start off the season 2-1 after being like dead last year. It would be interesting.
Now Titans are what? Titans are 2-0, right? Houston's 0-2.
Yeah, and then Colts are 1-1.
Because if Jaguars do end up performing a bit better, that could be scary. Because they could definitely ruin some of our seasons. Because, like, you know, just going against a divisional rival, especially AFC South, is like, you know, anything could happen. And I know Texans are going to bring it back. Like, they're not a 0-2 team. They just played Chiefs-Ravens, like, bad luck. So
Bears against Falcons. This is another tough matchup.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be Falcons.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, like, Falcons, like, they're a great team, but they choke too much. I'm pissed off at the Falcons for losing that game so freaking much.
I'm not as sold on the Bears though. I mean, we're talking about Cowboys and Seahawks, who, like, we could easily see those in, like, you know, the NFC Championship. I cannot see Bears in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, but wait, who did the Bears beat? Do you know?
Bears. Who did they beat? The Bears, not Bear. Oh my gosh, they auto-corrected me. It was Giants and Lions.
Okay. So, yeah.
And it was a 4-point game against the Giants and a 4-point game against the Lions. The Lions could have had it if DeAndre Swift didn't drop the ball. Yeah. So
I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one. That just made me feel better.
Yeah.
Because, like, Falcons should have beat the Cowboys. Like, that pissed me off so much. How the hell do you blow a 20-point lead and then, like, a 29-10-point lead? That's so freaking frustrating. And then that onside, don't even get me started on that stupid onside kick. There's like 8 guys surrounding it.
Just watch a Stephen A. Smith ran if you want to know more.
Yeah.
But Bills, Rams, who you got?
I'm waiting to say Rams for this one.
Me too, actually.
Because
I thought you'd go Bills, but I'm going Rams.
They dominated against the Eagles, and they held their own against the Cowboys as well.
Yeah, and Bills have been playing pretty... just like okay teams. This is going to be the first big challenge, and I don't know if they're going to be fully prepared for that yet.
Yeah.
You know, they have a lot of momentum in their wins going forward, but they might be too big for their britches right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, facing that big challenge is really going to, you know, put them in their place. I still think they can be a dominant team, but for this first big matchup, it's going to be hard for them.
And the Rams are looking scary with their offense. I don't know if the Eagles were looking shitty on defense or or Rams offense was just looking really good.
A bit both.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit of both. Browns versus the Washington football team.
I wanted to say the Browns.
Both 1-1. You're gonna say the Browns? I'm gonna go with the Browns too. Because especially if Mayfield can keep it together the way he did that first game, second game against the Bengals. If he can, you know, continue showing off like that, I think they can definitely take down that Washington defense.
Yeah.
And I have no faith in a Washington offense, so.
Back-to-back, Washington and the Rams, both disappointment.
Who did they play yesterday that they lost to? Or not yesterday?
Cardinals. And they got destroyed. We should have destroyed the Redskins, too.
That's an easy thing for me. You're going Cleveland as well?
Yeah.
Cool. Minnesota Titans.
This is another hard one because, like, Vikings have been dominant for the past couple of years, but they laid a goose egg thanks to
they've been
Colts.
not doing well.
Yeah.
But Titans have only barely been holding it together against, who was it?
Broncos.
Who
Missed 4 field goals and an
and
extra point.
Jaguars is like, yeah, only barely holding it together. And I know Vikings have been on a downtrend, but I'm going to put Minnesota actually.
I'm going to say Titans. It's a close one, but like
I think it is because like even though like it would seem more obvious because Minnesota's 0-2, Tennessee's 2-0. Like we know like looking inwards, like Minnesota should be doing better, and Titans have like honestly they've been so close to just being 0-2 flat out. So like either way could happen.
I feel like the coronavirus or COVID has been messing it up. I know preseason and with the training camps and everything, or preseason seems worthless in quotation marks, but I feel like it helps prepares like players to get in football shape.
Right.
And I feel like we've missed that entire like 2 or 3 months where players get prepared. So I feel like this first 4 games or few games in the NFL is going to be like weird. You're going to see teams winning that shouldn't be winning and teams losing that shouldn't be losing.
Yeah.
And it's just going to take a few weeks to actually define teams that are going to be good and versus the teams that aren't going to be good.
After week 4, I'm going to say, I think it's going to be clear who our MVP candidates are and who like Super Bowl like candidates are, especially after we see Ravens Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like those are going to be huge like trendsetters for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Then we got Patriots versus Vegas. I can see Vegas going 3-0. I know they did it against the Saints, which is a big deal.
I'm going with the Patriots.
Yeah, but I can see Patriots winning this matchup for sure. I think it will be closer than people are going to expect, though.
That was a big shocker, Raiders defeating the Saints. I was like, what the hell? I don't know. Difficult matchup.
Giants, 49ers. I'm going 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers easy.
Explanation there. Giants lost their biggest asset. It's over.
Yeah.
They might win against some of the other 0-2 teams right now, especially like Jets. I would probably put Giants over the Jets. But 49ers are, even though they're injury riddled, they can still get it done.
Bengals, Eagles. I'm going to go with the Eagles because they have to pull it through. Like, 0-2 start, they can't be this bad for this long, can they? Come on, Wentz. I solely blame Wentz for how the Eagles haven't been
I'm actually going to predict an upset and put Cincinnati.
Oh, shut up.
I actually am.
I hate you.
Because it's not just because Eagles have been doing bad, but like
Burrow.
I think Joe Burrow is going to come back with a vengeance after his 2 losses. Seems like he's taking those losses very personally. And I don't know, it's just like this feeling in my gut that like, oh man, Burrow's gonna start being savage, you know? That's the first time he's ever lost back-to-back in his entire football career.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, because, I mean, he was with LSU. So, like...
Should I put him in next to Eagles?
No, he's probably not gonna do, like, that good. Like, they still have a good running core and stuff like that, so... And, like, I don't really know much about Bengals defense, but I know enough about Eagles offense to know that the Eagles will find a way not to score.
Yeah. And the defense is... I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the upset. Right. Cincinnati.
I hope that...
Obviously, I don't hope for that because, you know, this is Eagles channel, whatever.
I hope the Eagles freaking flat out the Bengals and...
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too. But
I just want a freaking utter destruction of a team over the last 2 performances. I want it to be like a 55-10 game. Alright, so we got Texans, Steelers.
Dude, Texans going 0-3 would be so wild, but I think it might just happen because Steelers have been doing really well. That defense, man, is scary. They literally injured like 4 Bronco players the other day, some of which are like out for the season, so it's just like, damn.
I'm going with the Texans for the upset.
Really?
Yeah. So, like you said, I don't see them going 0-3, and I don't...
They're not an 0-3 team, but like there's just unlucky matchups for the first 3 weeks. Like, what are you going to do?
I just don't want the Steelers to win because I hate the Steelers.
Right.
I don't want the Steelers to go 3-0.
They're going to go 3-0, baby. Let's go Pittsburgh.
All right. Jets, Colts. That's an easy one.
Yep. Easy. Unless, like, no, I can't imagine defense falling apart after having such a good performance week 2. Like, they got over their, you know, whatever it was that happened in Jacksonville. Maybe it's just, like, new pieces coming together. and not enough preseason. But especially against the Jets, who I really think is the worst team in the league right now, I just don't think defense will fall apart that much. And the way offense has been looking as well, it seems like they had a bad game plan game 1, and now game 2 they've been looking a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
Especially when we have a great kicker to save us from failing in the red zone. Let's go Indy! Woo!
And then we got Panthers, Chargers. I picked Chargers.
Yeah, I'd probably go Chargers too.
Because
Carolina lost McCaffrey, so.
And Chargers almost beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, and Chargers is the best secondary, right?
Yeah. So I feel
one of the best secondaries at least.
Yeah.
And if McCaffrey's out to hold his side, then you have to depend on passing game more. But you're going his best secondary, so it's just I can't imagine Carolina winning this at all.
Yeah. And then you got Bucks, Broncos, the same. And since I'm picking the Bucks have a dangerous defense. Tom Brady's not there. He's not like he used to be. I mean, he can still throw the ball and stuff, but it's the other guys surrounding him that's going to carry him.
Yeah, especially Denver's. I think they just got Bortles. Bortles is the replacement quarterback.
Yeah.
They're gonna need more time to get used to Bortles, that starter. So, and Tampa Bay is not the place for you to win when you're just getting used to it. So.
Yeah, I feel like the Bucks remind me of the Broncos team that recently won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning struggled that entire season, but the rest of the team carried it. That reminds me, because Tom Brady's not together like he used to be.
Manning never struggled.
Sure.
He never struggled. He probably could have played that one season he was out.
Okay.
But they were just being careful.
Yeah, okay. Whatever you say.
Cardinals, Detroit. Cardinals are 2-0.
They're dangerous.
I think they're going to hold that momentum until they face a bigger threat.
Come on, I projected that they would win the division.
You did, but I still don't think they're going to win the division.
What, the Seahawks?
I did predict the 49ers to win the division. I'm not so sure about that anymore, just because they've had some bad luck, obviously. But Rams have been looking way better than I thought they would. And Seahawks have been holding it together.
That's a freaking scary division.
That's the scariest division. It might as well just be 3 of those teams that end up in the playoffs. It's been done before. So.
Even 4.
I don't think 4 is going to happen.
4 could possibly. Because the extra playoffs.
I know, but 4 is not going to happen.
Okay, so we got Cowboys, Seahawks. I'm going to pick Seahawks. Cowboys got lucky. They shouldn't have won that game. Seahawks are just the better team overall.
You're picking Seahawks?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm going with Seahawks.
Packers, Saints. I'm going with the Packers. Packers are looking too dangerous, and the Saints didn't perform as they should have against the Raiders. What do you think?
I think it'll be close. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Green Bay, actually. Yeah, Green Bay. Let's go.
And then the matchup of the week. And if not, maybe the year. Maybe not even the year. Matchup of the year.
You might as well call the season quits and make this the Super Bowl right now, man.
Chiefs, Ravens. Oh, this is so hard. I'm going to pick Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs too. I have a bet against Trey for who's winning this. And Baltimore has been looking really good, I will admit. And Chiefs faced, a big challenge, to really get their mental game right. I think you need the challenge to strengthen yourself and grow.
Yeah.
I don't think Ravens have had that challenge yet because Texans didn't hold up to be a challenge as people thought they would. And even still, Lamar Jackson kind of, put a lot of the weight on the running backs. He hasn't been him himself hasn't been facing a huge challenge either because he hasn't been throwing as much or whatever. So I feel like Chiefs are more prepared. Baltimore in the future, if this matchup happened in the future, maybe towards the end of the season, maybe they would take it. But as of right now, I think Coach Andy Reid especially is going to pull them through.
Yeah, Chiefs have a better supporting cast, I feel, with the coaching and everything.
So there you go. Those are our...
Is that it for the podcast?
I guess so. Let me bold which of these are differences. Boom. Boom, boom.
Okay. Well, at least we know. I just want to rant about the Eagles. What are you doing, Carson Wentz?
Yeah, good. Dude.
Carson Wentz, come on. You freaking are making like child mistakes, like bad decisions left and right, like that touchdown to JJ. What were you thinking? Double coverage? You should have saw that guy coming. That we literally lost the game for us because then all the momentum switched back to the Rams when they already had most momentum already gained. You could have switched the momentum to or just have a lead. The defense would have been stoked.
Wait, it stopped. I had music playing. This was like, whoa.
You can just use the audio from.
They might win against some of the other 0-2 teams right now, especially like Jets. I would probably put Jets over Jets. But 49ers are, even though they're injury riddled, they can still get it done.
I mean, we can use the camera audio.
Okay, sure.
Alright, we'll just end it there since I'll stop my rant.
Yeah.
We'll just end it there.
Yeah, your rant got cut short. Well.
Well, I'll rant about the Eagles next week. Alright.
Boom.
Bye. Love you.